So, in one of my last videos here on my channel, we talked about some of the just downright unhinged holiday trends that we are currently seeing on TikTok this year. I asked you which one you guys would want me to dig into a bit deeper here on my channel, and many of you said the burr baskets. So, today, that is exactly what we're going to be doing. We're going to break down what they are exactly because there was some confusion actually on that, where this trend came from, what people are putting inside these burr baskets, and then we're going to talk about the pricing because the pricing on these baskets, at least some of them, is absolutely insane. We're going to talk about the just cultural implications that these baskets might have, just all things burr baskets. And I have been enjoying doing these holiday themed videos here on my channel, and honestly, nothing, and I mean nothing, quite captures TikTok fueled excess quite like a burr basket. So let's get into it. Okay, so I noticed some confusion on my last video where we talked about burr baskets a little bit on what exactly a burr basket is. Some of you guys thought that it was basically a stocking repackaged in a basket, or that the basket itself was meant for Christmas Day, which both of those ideas would probably make more sense and just be a better purpose than what a burr basket actually is. In reality, it is a gift basket, but it's not meant to replace Christmas gifts or be given on Christmas Day. It's supposed to be a pre-gift that you give earlier in the month leading up to Christmas. They started to gain popularity on TikTok in 2023 and have only gotten bigger ever since. I mentioned this on my other video. The first time that I had even heard of a burr basket, I think, was in 2024. Abby Fickley posted a video of herself putting together one for her daughter. And of course, she conveniently linked everything in her Amazon storefront on what she got in the basket, which of course is the driving factor in why a lot of these influencers create these baskets. So we're going to get into it. First, let's take a look at what exactly people are putting in these baskets. See if you notice any common items that just keep appearing in these baskets. Also, we're going to be breaking down the price, so just prepare yourself. Okay, so cute basket, everything was brown themed, but let's break down exactly what the cost is. Whoever created this basket had everything linked, so I was able to get pretty much all of the exact pricing. Okay, so first, the Ugg boots are $140. Then that box, which I wasn't sure what it was at first, but I guess it's a jewelry box, it's $85. Skim socks are 26. That suitcase thing was a keychain and it's $28. A Jellycat is $28. A Skims hairbrush is 20. The claw clip was 36. Then there was a Laneige, I don't know, lip mask, and that's 24. A lip oil for 28. And of course, a burr basket cannot be complete without a Stanley cup, and that is 40. Surprisingly enough, she did not link the basket or the blanket, so I had to kind of do some guesstimates on that. The blanket looked kind of thick, and so I assumed around 45, but probably more. And the basket also seemed pretty sturdy. We're going to say 30, but I feel like both of those estimates are pretty conservative, but we're just going to, we'll say 30 for the basket, 45 for the blanket, and that brings it all to a total of $530 for one basket, which, just to recap, these burr baskets are, they're not meant to replace Christmas Day gifts. I mean, you could technically, some people probably do, but that's not how these baskets are being marketed. That's not why these creators are making them. Again, the whole concept of a burr basket is you give it earlier in the month, a pre-gift to Christmas. You might have seen a lot of influencers give their kid a burr basket on December 1st just as a way to kick off the start of the holiday season. So with all that in mind, and we're going to look at another basket or two here in a minute, but I don't know about you, $530 is a lot of money. I feel like that amount of money is how much I would spend on a multiple different people, not just one person for one basket, not even meant to be given on Christmas Day. And when you really think about it in that context, just the fact that it's not meant to be given on Christmas Day and people are spending this much money on these baskets, it starts to feel a lot less like a, cute, fun trend and a lot more like another layer of holiday overconsumption. Take this basket we just looked at. To me, it didn't seem like a lot of thoughtful gifts, more like an attempt to cram as many high ticket luxury items as possible into one basket. And it makes me wonder, this basket, baskets like these in these types of videos, are they even gifted to anybody? Are the price tags even taken off? Or do they just make these baskets for a video and then return everything at the end of the video? We're going to talk about that here in a minute too. So we're going to look at a different one. It's in a bag instead of a basket. It says POV, making your bestie a burr bag. So let's take a look. So if you noticed, it seems like the Laneige lip mask is definitely a common thing in these baskets, but let's actually break down the prices on this. Again, this creator had everything linked and ready, so I was able to get the price on everything, including the bag. So the bag itself was $58. The chocolate, $3.50. Of course, we have to have our Stanley in there. It looks like a holiday themed Stanley, that's 40. And then you need a Stanley topper, and that's 4. The Rhodes Peptide Lip Tint was 30. The Rare Beauty Hand Cream was 18. The Laneige Lip Mask, 24. The Touchland Mist Hand Sanitizer, 10. Those are a big thing for any baskets. Boo baskets, Easter baskets. People want that kind of hand sanitizer. Is it worth it? Let me know. $10 on a little thing hand sanitizer, not my cup of tea, but it seems pretty popular. That's 10. You also apparently need a pouch specifically made for the Touchland hand sanitizer misting spray, and that's 20. A silk pillowcase is 19. The socks, which I was a little bit surprised about because they're $58. They're Barefoot Dreams, a 3-pack. Don't know why they're that much money. I lose socks far too often to spend that much money on them. The mug was 8, blanket 25, a makeup eraser is 30 for a pack of 5. The Summer Fridays full-size lip balms are 24 each. Then there was a mini pack of Summer Fridays lip butters for 39 for a grand total, drumroll please, $464.50. Again, absolutely wild that people are spending this much money on a basket that isn't even meant as the main Christmas gift. Now, to be fair, not every single burr basket on TikTok costs hundreds of dollars. There are plenty of people who do them on a budget. So if you want to do this trend, you don't have to drain your wallet for it. Let's look at a cheaper burr basket idea.
We're making a burr basket, but this time it's from Walmart. This was all under $30, so let me show you everything I found. There's honestly so much to choose from, and these bags were so cute. They had all the Tree Hut seasonal scents, which were so cute, and I feel like these would be perfect to add as well. I didn't end up getting that one, but I did get this hand sanitizer. These were $3, and sugar cookie just sounds so good. I then found the perfect iced coffee cup, so I got the gingerbread one. It was so cute. I had not seen the bigger size anywhere, so I was so excited to see these. I got the peppermint bark one, and I also found these straw toppers. They'd be so cute because you can add one to each basket you make. Their pajama section is so underrated. They have such cute ones. I ended up adding these cute little shorts, so I'll show you guys how everything looks in part 2.
I will admit that was some really cute stuff. I feel like Walmart has really stepped their game up over the years, so there was some cute stuff, and that was definitely a more reasonable basket. But honestly, it's not the price that is the main issues that come about with burr baskets. Yeah, a lot of them can be really expensive, but you can still do them on a budget. I mean, you saw in that video, she was getting a lot of dupes. I saw, a spray hand sanitizer. That must be all the rage. I don't know, but you can get them cheaper at Walmart apparently. So when it comes to burr baskets, as you can see, it's The price range is all over the place. But in my opinion, like I said, pricing is only one part of it. I think there are much bigger cultural implications tied to the burr basket trends and just these baskets, whether it be a boo basket. People go nuts at Easter now. It's not just a basic basket anymore. Just it seems like every month there's a new basket. But first of all, like we said, burr baskets, even boo baskets, they introduce an entirely new spending expectation before these holidays even happen. This whole trend of burr baskets, it's pretty new still, but if it continues to grow at the rate that it is, December 1st is going to be yet another mandatory or at least feeling like a mandatory gifting holiday. And I feel like the pressure is really going to be hitting parents the most. A lot of families already feel intense pressure during the holidays, especially, the parents, they want to make the holiday season as magical as possible for their kids. Now we have to add another viral gifting trend into the mix as if we needed that. There's already so much pressure. But I feel like as this trend continues to grow, kids are going to start coming home from school and being like, my friend got a burr basket. Where's my burr basket? Because it's growing so much.
Okay, so my kids have literally been begging me for weeks, please, Mom, when are you going to put together our burr baskets? I have had this stuff for several weeks. I've just not gotten around to doing it. So we're going to make their burr baskets together.
I mean, so many of the burr basket videos I was seeing were very clearly curated for kids. There are burr baskets for toddlers, for tweens, for teenagers, and like you saw, some of these baskets are incredibly elaborate. What should be a rare, over-the-top gift even is quickly being positioned as a normal baseline tradition. And that's especially concerning when considering how much time this younger generation, I mean, really so many people spend scrolling on TikTok. When extravagance and all these luxury things and baskets is all they see, it eventually is going to stop feeling extravagant and start feeling expected. When kids are growing up watching $500 pre-Christmas gift baskets pop up on their feed over and over again, that absolutely has the power to distort what normal looks like. It sets the bar at an unrealistic level and quietly teaches them that more equals better. And it can make someone, kid or adult, feel less than if they don't receive a burr basket, are able to give a burr basket to someone else, or if the one they are able to give or receive is the $20 budget friendly version instead of the influencer fantasy. And yes, of course, gratitude is going to play a huge role in this. That's a separate conversation. But the reality is, constant exposure shapes our expectation, whether we like it or not. When you're repeatedly shown one level of normal over and over again on places like TikTok, for some people, it's going to start to feel like the standard that they have to measure their life against. So when someone logs on and they see basket after basket full of luxury items and then looks at their own reality, what should be a fun little seasonal trend can quickly turn into comparison, disappointment, and a whole lot of pressure. Again, whether you're giving a basket or receiving a basket. And in my opinion, that's where these trends stop being harmless fun and start doing real damage on how people view themselves, their families, and what they think their holidays are supposed to look like. And this doesn't just apply to families or kids either. It spills straight into relationships of all kinds, especially romantic ones. So many of these baskets are created as the perfect gift for your girlfriend, boyfriend, or spouse, which only adds another level of expectation in your relationship that's completely built on consumerism, overconsumption. But I came across one TikTok that really stuck with me because it brought up a totally different angle on this, one that I didn't really think about, especially when it comes to relationships and the pressure and expectations that these baskets can create.
Dairy rings, boo baskets, burr baskets. The internet is fundamentally changing the way we view and evaluate the quality of our relationships. And I don't like it. Listen, we know apps like this make us perform more via material. TikTok, Instagram, and most platforms we've been raised on are highly photo and video based, meaning they have taught us to communicate through visuals. So instead of someone saying they're doing well financially, they post a photo of a new luxury bag or a shopping spree. Instead of saying they're in a happy relationship, they post a photo dump that's perfectly curated of them and their partner that that is meant to convey the same thing. And this is valid to an extent. A picture is worth 1,000 words, or whatever the phrase is. But when a lot of this social signaling has become reliant on material and consumption, which it has, it changes the way we appraise the value of something. We get on this app, get really used to seeing women being spoiled with designer and really luxurious trips by men who probably don't like them too much, but the women post it anyway because that is the game of this app. And over time, we expect more material in our own relationships because that is what this app has taught us about love and care. But it's short-sighted and lazy. When we tailor our expectations of our relationships based off of how we can convey its success or happiness online or how it fits into our digital performance, we destroy the foundation that matters. Guys, commitment can't be proven through a dairy ring. That means nothing. Commitment can be shown through their consistency, their reliability, and their stability. That shows more effort and compatibility than what? Showing your ID for a piece of jewelry? Who cares? And I do wonder if a lot of young ladies are so desperate for these material signs of care because they don't feel it in their partner's actions. Is that boo basket damage control for weeks of delayed texts? Does that outlet coach bag act as an apology because he doesn't actually want to use his words and change like an adult? Come on, guys. Buying things is an easy way out.
That's so true. There's so many good points in that video. Buying things is and can be a really easy way out. Also, what's a dairy ring? Am I missing something? I've been married for a long time now, so I'm past the dairy ring stage, I'm assuming. Or do I need a dairy ring? Or do we need to do a video on dairy rings? Let me know. But something we really need to circle back to is the actual stuff inside these baskets because so much of it is just excess. I mean, truly, how many lip balms, lip butters, lip oils does one person need? Yet these baskets have us gifting people 5 to 6 minimum, and the lip oils themselves start around $24. So it's kind of crazy. Same thing with Stanley tumblers. At this point, every holiday basket apparently requires a new emotional support water bottle, which how many water bottles does one person need? Does one household even need? Why do we need a new Stanley Cup for every single season, every single holiday, every single outfit? I don't get it. I don't get this. I don't even get the craze with Stanley Cups because I like the Hydro ones where the straw goes down. Why are Stanley Cups so popular? But all of this, the excess, it contributes to yet another issue with these type of baskets because they're not being built around what someone needs or maybe even wants. They're being stuffed with whatever is trending this week. It's less of a thoughtful gift and more what's popular in the world of influencers right now on TikTok. Of course, yes, you can use all of the stuff in these baskets, but that's not the same as something being necessary, practical, or even wanted in these quantities, especially that people are gifting these things. It's basically turning gifting into a numbers game. More items, more links, more haul content, more commission. The goal stops being what would this person actually love? And it shifts to what will look the most impressive on camera. And that's how we end up with baskets overflowing with duplicates, fast beauty, impulse items that will be exciting for maybe 5 minutes and then just be shoved into a drawer and then eventually moved to the landfill. So instead of gifting feeling intentional or personal, it starts to feel like a visual spectacle built for the TikTok algorithm, which is where the whole thing kind of loses the plot, or maybe it's where everything starts to click. Because these baskets didn't take off because they're meaningful or practical. They took off because visually they are perfect for TikTok. They're trendy, they're packed with stuff, they're satisfying to watch while you're doom scrolling. And most importantly, on top of all of that, they're an extremely easy way for creators to secure a commission check. Every single item is chosen with links in mind. The basket itself, the blankets, the lip oils, the tumblers, the slippers, all of it conveniently lives in someone's storefront. That's why you rarely, if ever, are going to see a thrifted burr basket. Because where's the affiliate link in that? There's no commission link on a mug that you find at the Goodwill or a blanket from a local shop. Yeah, that kind of stuff, it doesn't translate into passive income. So instead, the trend gets built around brand new, mass-produced, easily linkable items that benefit the creator financially first and the recipient second. So it's not really about gifting, it's about sales. The basket isn't being curated for a specific person in mind, at least on TikTok. It's being curated for the algorithm, for the engagement, for the conversion. And I think once you realize that, a lot of the excess, the repetition, and the ridiculous price tags start to make a lot more sense. Which is also why you'll so often see creators making these baskets inside the store. It's always shop with me while I build the perfect burr basket. But notice how they never check out with these items. They never take them home. It just is in their cart. They fill up their cart, stage the basket, get all the filming, all the clips that they need, and then they quietly put everything right back on the shelves. And yet, somehow, every single item still ends up neatly linked in their storefront. I mean, from a business standpoint, it's kind of genius. Think about it, zero money spent, but you have the potential to make a full commission. But at the same time, it does show you what the main priority of this basket content creation is. It's basically a prop. And I sure hope people doing that are putting each item back that they gathered up for these baskets just for filming it. I hope they put everything back on the shelves. I doubt it. If you're working retail, let me know. Have you ever seen a leftover burr basket just left on the shelf? Let me know. But listen, I'm not a minimalist. I consume. I literally have a whole shelf in my kitchen with a bunch of mugs that I've accumulated over the last 10 years or so. So I'm not saying, don't buy anything ever, don't ever consume, don't ever shop at places like Walmart. I'm not saying that. But I'm telling you, making these type of videos, watching videos like this has really just shifted my perspective when it comes to shopping in any form, whether it's holiday shopping or just my regular everyday shopping. I don't feel the need to own every, latest and greatest thing that I see trending, that I see in someone's haul, that I keep seeing on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. Like I take a step back. I'm like, do I really need this? Do I really love this? If so, great. I'm not just going to get something just to get something. And I think that's why when I see these baskets trend year after year lately, and like I said, it kind of seems like there is a new themed basket for every single month, it honestly makes my stomach turn a little, especially when I read the comments from people saying that they feel bad or feel like they're somehow missing out or not loved enough because they've never received one of these baskets. Or maybe they just don't have the funds to gift their children, their friends, their spouse one of these baskets. It just doesn't sit well with me that that's a lot of the reactions that I'm seeing on TikTok when people watch these basket videos. It also could be because I see what these burr baskets are at their core. These are curated, highly produced props built almost entirely, if not altogether, for a commission. They're designed to sell, not to genuinely give. And in the process, they quietly turn gifting into a performance and self-worth into a shopping list. On top of that, so much of this stuff is fast, trendy, and disposable, which means a huge portion of it will end up in a drawer for a few months and then eventually in the landfill. At the end of the day, burr baskets are just one example of a much bigger issue that we are running into with social media. It's the same thing that we're seeing with influencer culture as a whole, with TikTok as a whole, like with everything related to social media. What started out as something fun, harmless, once it starts to gain traction and the algorithm rewards it, like these baskets probably did start out as a fun way to just make the holidays a little more special for your kids or for a friend or whoever. But then it started gaining traction. They started getting popular. Then they get squeezed for every possible dollar that they can make until the original joy is completely stripped out of it. What used to feel creative and thoughtful, it turns into pressure, expectations, and spending for the sake of spending. I mean, again, these baskets aren't even being made for real people. Like, it wasn't like, I made this basket for my mom. That's not why people are doing it. They're made for views, for links, and for commissions. They're staged inside stores, built for content, and marketed as normal when they're anything but normal. Meanwhile, the people watching are comparing their real lives, real budgets, and real relationships to something that was never meant to be a genuine standard in the first place. And that's what bothers me the most with these baskets. It's not that they can be really pricey. It's not that people are making commissions off of them. It's that these trends, they slowly shift our idea of what love, effort, and celebration are supposed to look like. We start equating care with spending, thoughtfulness with excess, and the holidays with a shopping quota. I feel like the holiday season already has such a high financial expectation for so many people. The last thing we need is another financial expectation during the holidays that comes in the form of some stupid basket. So if you take anything away from this, I hope it's this. You don't need a $500 pre-gift to prove your love, to prove your worth in order to start the holiday season. Traditions do not need to be, expensive to be meaningful. I saw one of you guys leave a comment. You said that you wished that we could go back to where it was just like a cookie slash ornament swap with people, and I loved that idea. I think that's great. It's something that most of us can afford, and it seems a lot more meaningful than throwing a $40 tumbler and $24 lip oil and all this crap into a basket for someone. I just feel like gifting has become so performative on places like TikTok, and I feel like the less stuff, just keeping things simple at the holidays, small, intentional choices, it's not signs that you're missing out. I feel like, if anything, it's just a sign that you're opting out of all of the noise, all of the BS that we hear this time of year on places like TikTok, Instagram, social media in general. You're opting out of all of that. So that's great. That's a good thing. And if you don't take any of that away from this, just take this. TikTok is really obnoxious, and if you don't have one, just keep it that way. And stick around here on my channel because I can break down all the madness for you without you having to go on that app. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. If you made it this far, let me know your favorite cookie recipe for Christmas time for the holiday season because I'm telling you that idea that someone said a holiday cookie ornament swap. I feel like I want to do that this year. So, let me know your favorite holiday cookie recipe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.